And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to something a little bit different, something a little bit special here. Welcome back to a viewer replay cast. Oh, I should have actually updated that. But welcome back to a viewer replay cast. We just wrapped up with ESL Open Cup Americas 222, and now we are back with something a little bit more chill and a little bit more laid back instead. Viewer replay cast. Bam. Beautiful. There we go. I will also update that on the Twitch channel as well. And you can see our lovely graphic, our lovely duck as well. And yeah, these are replays submitted by the people for the people. Basically, we have some viewers in the chat. You can redeem a replay cast with your channel points. That's how this was done. So you have that option available to you. I believe it's quite expensive, but if you do wish to have one of your own replays casted, then we can do so. And again, we promise not to be too harsh, promise to have some fun, maybe a couple of jabs here and there, but nothing too serious as we do settle into this. As you can imagine, we have a lot of replays submitted by Saundo, as always, and este Saundo, papi, este Saundo. I'm shaking my head every single time. But always a fun time to cover these matches as well. I have some replays by Saundo, I have some replays by Babyling as well. And interestingly enough, we have even some replays, some team game replays, which we do from time to time. I'll be honest, I'm not the most adept at casting team game replays just because it's so chaotic and there's just so much happening all at once. It's a little bit messy, Papi's a little bit messy, but always a lot of good fun nonetheless. It's been so long since I played team games. I miss it, not gonna lie. I do miss it a little bit. As our first replay here is a 3v3 by Saundo and his team against a team of random players, I imagine, or maybe a pre-made team. We'll find out as we're loading in. We are loading in. Favoring replays are always off tap. Always, Papi, always. As we are loading into our game and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Bastion of the Enclave. Sorry, Bastion of the Conclave. There you go. We do have our opposing team. We do have the red Zerg player, Digglesworth. We have the blue Terran Star-Lord and the teal Protoss Traveler. Meanwhile, towards the south, we have our viewer, our lovely viewer here. We have in the south the orange Protoss player Saundo, who's currently in the chat, I believe. We have his teammate as well, the yellow Zerg player Abadabadud. There you go, Abba, let's go. And in the bottom right we have Butt Sneezer, who I believe we have casted in the past as well. I'm shaking my head, but they are all part of Clan Bud Air. They are all clan mates, and they do play team games from time to time. And is this a new map? I think this is one of the new maps, right? I do know that the team games, so for the first time in years, the team game ladder map pool was updated in the new patch. So we have some new 2v2 maps, we have some new 3v3 maps as well. And there are island bases here towards the left-hand side, island bases towards the north. We have some pocket bases as well. As we talk about the pocket bases though, Saundo is going for a proxy 4-gate. Let's go. The flower has been thrown down. 4 gateways have been set up. And Saundo is going pretty all in here. His teammates, likewise, we have a pool gas opener. So a pretty safe opener here from our yellow Zerg. Meanwhile, from our Terran player, we're going for a Rax expand as well. It looks to be a Rax expand from Butt Sneezer. So I'm not sure if I like this. It looks like Saundo setting up for an all-in. I'm not really getting that vibe from his teammates. Is what I'm concerned about. Yeah, we have Marines on the way, not Reapers as well. So yeah, it feels like Saundo's kind of doing his own thing, and his teammates are just chilling and macroing back at home. Meanwhile, when it comes to the opposing team, we do have our expansions on the way. Looks like a hatch gas pool. Yep, hatch gas pool out of our Zerg player. We're going for a 3-Rax opener here from the Terran, and from the Protoss, we're going for a gate expand into Cybercore. No, wait, sorry. 2-gate opener. 2-gate opener into a Cybercore here from the Protoss. So very interesting openers, like standard play here from our red Zerg player. Something much more aggressive out of our blue Terran and our Protoss as well. Meanwhile, now is not the time to be supplied. Here we go. We break out of the supply block. We're making 4 zealots at a time. Thankfully for Saundo. I believe we have limited scanning information. No, we've seen a lot actually. We see the lack of anything from the orange Protoss that should be ringing alarm bells. And what is there at home to defend? 3 Marines. 3 Marines on their own. The red Zerg player rushing into... Wait, no, sorry. That's going to be the yellow Zerg rushing into a lair behind this. Where are the Lings? We're droning, by the way. Where's the Queen? Ay, ay, ay. It looks like, yeah, we only have the Terran here to defend. Meanwhile, across the map, okay, we're just a little bit stuck. That's fine. We can stay stuck. But these elves are accomplishing quite a lot here. They take down the Marines. They get a Queen as well. Ling production has been delayed from our Zerg player. And from the side of our Protoss, we're not really adding too much help either here. Yeah, as the first gateway was depowered. So, yeah, these elves are doing more than they should. Oh, more than they should have. Again, some of our players were just a little bit too greedy. Sure, Star-Lord, the Blue Terran, is doing what he can, but we're lacking some kiting here. More Marines go down. And these elves are doing so much damage. Behind this, honestly, our teammates are free to do whatever they want. We could just take a third base, drone up, and make as many workers as possible. Even though Saundo is quite behind, like, it's worth it here to help out the rest of his team and to boost them ahead. It is going to be worth it for Saundo, as eventually he's going to be cleaned up. As Elset finally going down, but looking at the unit loss tab, we lost 7 Zealots for a Queen, 9 Marines, a couple of workers, 11 Lings. Like, these are efficient trades. These are efficient trades. As Star-Lord, he's going for he's going for the island. Let's go. The island is on the horizon. Do you have additional gateways on the way? Again, brutal supply looks here for some of these players. And yeah, this build, this opener has been quite disruptive for Digglesworth, for Traveler as well. It's a rough start for them. Rough start for all of them. And I'm curious where we're headed from here. I was assuming it was going to be 2-base Muta. I think we've seen this player here go 2-base Muta before, but no, it's going to be 2-base Lurker. Okay, we're spicing it up a little bit here. We are spicing it up with Lurker tech. Meanwhile, our Terran player is going into Ravens. We do have tank production behind this. I believe no stim. Yeah, no stim, no tech lab. Going for a third instead. Things are a little bit more delayed here for our Terran player. We're not really headed in any clear direction yet. Saundo, he's throwing away a lot of Zealots. This is where we're becoming a little bit wasteful. Yeah, we're throwing away a lot of Zealots at this point here. Not ideal for Saundo. Yo, another CC on the way. We're going for the other island. Let's go. Speaking of, looks like they're letting each other know that there are pocket bases to take. Zerg player has taken the island himself. We're getting to a longer game. Again, like, this is the downside of what has happened here. I would have loved to have seen 2-base play from our yellow Zerg and from our purple Terran, because Saundo is basically out of this game. Like, to be honest here, because of the 4-gate, like, we have nothing. We have 9, so we have 10 workers in the main mining. We're just now starting our natural as well. Like, Saundo, he's basically going to be taking a back seat here for the next couple of minutes, while the rest of his team can, like, make up for that. And I would have been hoping for like a 1-2 punch, like for a follow-up all in, but we're going for a longer game. And who do I favor here? That's a good question. Lair is on the way finally here for our red Zerg player. I do like that basically our the yellow Zerg and the purple Terran, we have 3-base setup. We have a 3-base setup already. We're on 3-base saturation, so we're in a pretty good place. Meanwhile, we're still struggling to expand across the map. Yeah, the economy for Digglesworth, for Traveler, is still lacking. Same can be said here for Star-Lord. Again, like, even though we've taken these island bases, we have 2 SCVs here. Like, barely any saturation, barely any mining. We'll have a look. Yeah, less than 40 workers here apiece. Not going to be ideal. Meanwhile, Traveler is going into Sky. Tells us, okay, we're making some waves. We're going places. I was curious where the purple Terran was headed, and we are going into Mass BC. We have 2 more starports on the way, 3 in total. Mass BC on the horizon. They'll say do make their way into the main base. They're going to be cleaned up. They are going to be cleaned up here. And okay, so we have Skytoss from our teal Protoss. We have Aspire, looks like Mass Muta from our red Zerg player. And what is our Terran going for? Mech. Oh, okay. Okay, it's gonna be mech. We have an armory. We have two more factories. Again, the problem right now is just the economy. Honestly, like, look at this. Like, we have a planetary on the way. Like, these are such expensive investments going for a line of turrets. And we still only have 3 SCVs, now 4 SCVs mining here at this mineral patch. Now 2, like, oh my god. So yeah, the economy is something that has been lacking for the opposing team. And it's allowing these 2 here to pop off. It is allowing them to pop off. I'm not looking like Saundo is on, he's at 32 supply, oh my god. But he's also trying to get into his own Skytoss. So he's trying to add to the game. Let's go. Now, to be fair, we could always feed players, right? Like, we could see the Terran player or the Zerg player give resources to Saundo. That's true. To help make up for his lack of economy. To help give him a boost. What could happen here as bases are being scouted. Oh, the purple Terran now on 4 bases. And these starports, they're getting up and running. BCs are on the way. Likewise, are amassing Tempest. Saundo getting into his own carrier production. We're getting there. And there we go. Finally, the Mass Muta has arrived from the red Zerg. What do we have at home to defend? We don't have much here in these corner bases. What I will say, though, is I feel like killing these probes from Saundo doesn't mean anything. Like, he's still not in this game, and it would have been worth it to go for one of the Terran mineral lines instead. Like, our southern team, we can afford to lose Saundo. Like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Pylon's gonna go down. We could try to collapse on the carrier. Yeah, the carrier will fall. But all this means is that, hey, this mineral line is safe and sound. We can see the Terran player rotating over to protect their own natural base. Stargates are going down. Saundo trying to take the center base instead. And these mutas, they got a lot of damage done, but again, it doesn't really slow down the Terran or the Zerg, which is what's concerning. That's something to bear in mind here in team games, is that there are some players that are worth more than others when it comes to harassing, when it comes to pushing in. That's the sad reality here. Yo, let's go. Our Terran player helping out Saundo, throwing down turrets. I mean, could just give him money, but it's fine. Turrets are on the way. Meanwhile, that's a lot of Tempest. Jesus, how many Tempests do we have? 7. Soon to be 10. Aye, aye, aye. So it's a lot of Tempest on the way. Meanwhile, the mech army is still amassing as well. I would have appreciated BCs as well from our blue Terran player here, but it is going to be like Thor tank, which doesn't help as much. As mutas, they just ran their face into turrets, and this is not a good trade here for the Zerg. So many mutas go down. Prism is denied. Our player that was rushing into Lurker Tech is now switching into Corruptors, which I think is a good thing. Lurkers, they don't matter as much anymore. Wait, did we make any Lurkers? Oh, yeah. Have some Hydra Lurker. God, the production time is so big. it's taking up like half the screen. It's too much, Pappy. It's too much. I'm getting lost in it. But there we go. We're amassing Thor BC. Meanwhile, our red Zerg player is still doubling down on Muta. I mean, Mass Muta can work very well if you're active. Like, you have to be so active with it, dancing between the bases, picking up units. We have left kind of these fringe bases alone. We're still going for the same Protoss base. We're still going for Saundo. And there's nothing here to kill. Get a couple of turrets. And it looks like we're just playing the like chill out and max out kind of game here. There we go, BCs, they teleport on top of the mutas, a little bit wasteful. But the mutas are forced back. But our purple Terran player, he's maxed. He is at 200 supply. Our yellow Zerg is at 150. I do think that their biggest opposition is going to be our Protoss player here, who has comparable army size with 10 Tempest and Void Rays. And these Tempests, they do bonus to massive units. They can shut down some BCs. Depending on the angle, depending on their kiting, they can do well for themselves. The mech army's pushing forward. This is kind of turning into a 2v1. Sorry, a 2v3. 3v2 even. But I'm not loving this Zerg army. Like, the mass muta here in a head-on fight, it's not going to help. It's not going to help at all. So, not the most efficient army here from Digglesworth, unfortunately. And Stellar Rumble coming in, hits the base. But again, we're harassing Saundo. It's fine. Isn't hurting his teammates. It feels like this entire game, Saundo, he's been like the scapegoat. Like he's he's been like the meat shield for the rest of his team. Literally this entire game. And I mean, it's been working well. Like both his teammates are maxed out with pretty insane armies. You can see once again, Muta's head towards the bases of Saundo. Oh, yeah, they're going in. For a moment, I was like, yo, are they going for the Terran? No. Still not going for the Terran player. They trade with turrets. Lurkers are here. How many corpses do we have? 36. Oh my god. We're going for the dive. Oh, we're over the Thors, though. Brutal losses. The mothership is going to be going down. Not sure if that was worth it, though. Again, we have to try to time this together. With our Terran teammates. Speaking of, the opposing team all comes together as well. We're walking into the Lurkers, though. There we go. PCs are coming in. Corruptors, they take down all the they take down all the Void Rays. Thors are being shut down by the Marines as well. It looks like we're swallowing up the army. And it is a 3v2. I was half joking when I said it, but does Saundo have any units? Does he have? He's got some. He's got some carriers. He's going. He's doing his thing. Moving out. Let's go. Ooh, meanwhile, the BC army is being reset. Reset the BCs. But the Lurkers are still standing strong. And more importantly, even though the BCs went down, we reset the Sky Toss. All the Tempest, the Mothership, the Void Rays, it all got cleaned up by the Corruptors. This would be a good moment for Broodlords, but we weren't ready for it. Greater Spire is just now on the way. Without Broodlords, we are in a bit of trouble. I mean, we have Lurkers. We're okay. We're okay. We have Lurkers. We can hold. And now it's time for Saundo to shine. Here we go. The carriers are moving out. Big reaction here from the opposing team. Yeah, Corruptors are coming. Saundo does have a recall. He can recall back home. And he probably should soon. As we focus down one of the carriers. Thors are coming in. Oh yeah, that's a lot of Corruptors. A lot of Corruptors and Void Rays, and yeah, we're going to be able to clean every single carrier up. We do not recall. The army is thrown away. But once again, this is just giving time for the Terran and the Zerg player to max out. And they have remaxed. The beasts, they catch the tanks. They catch all the tanks. Big pickups here. From the purple Terran player. Looks like we're going to be punished for it a little bit here. The BCs, they do teleport away. Just in time. Did have the Protoss trying to harass on the right-hand side, but we were able to hold on. SCVs are brought forward. The Broodlords have arrived. No Spellcasters, bear that in mind. No Vipers, no Infestors. The Lurkers, they're going in. They take down the tanks. And we're dragging the Thors forward. Where's the detection, by the way? Finally, we have a scan. But the Thors, they take a lot of hits. And we're breaking through the Thor army. The Protoss coming in a little bit too late to support. And it looks like we have broken through. Team Bud Air, they're breaking through. They clean up with the Corruptors, they shut down the Thors. And they're snowballing out of control. And this base is going to be broken. Tempest are being chased down. And there's just not much left. I mean, the Thors, they can help, but we have Yamato. We have Battlecruiser. We have Man with Gun as well. The Marines, they're breaking on through as well. They step on forward. They shut down the Void Rays. And we have done it. And again, Saundo, he played his part. He played his part here. You know, he allowed the rest of his teammates to have a very comfortable start to the game. They were able to get up to 3 and 4 bases very easily. And for whatever reason, the Muta player just felt the need to harass Saundo, despite the fact that like he was posing no threat. He was the least threatening player, and then there's like, no, yes, I'll kill this one. Over and over again, just ran into turrets, shaking my head. Meanwhile, Buttsneezer and Abadabadu, they were left alone the entire time. The entire game they were left alone. I don't think they were harassing their mineral lines at all. Which is, yeah, quite nice. It's quite a good feeling. And with that, we're steaming on forward. We're breaking on through. Again, there's barely anything left here. There's a handful of Void Rays. Tanks and Thors are amassing in the main, but they're trickling in. And yeah, it's an interesting new map as well. Island base is always a lot of fun. I can't remember the last time we had an island base in 1v1. I don't know if we'll ever see an island base in 1v1 again. But I always do appreciate it. Always a lot of good fun. Likewise, we have the Central Gold base as well, which we're never fully taken advantage of, but you know, they're there. They were available. As we're slowly pushing in towards the main base as well. And again, the writing's on the wall at this point. Like, we're barely holding on. And hopefully they don't force us to travel to these island bases and to kill these as well. I'm hoping that that's the case. Sometimes that happens in team games, but there it is. GG gets called, Traveler taps out, Digglesworth as well. And so does Star-Lord. GG. But Air, they take game 1. GG, well played. I don't often see like flowers like that in team games. It's always very hit and miss, and we kind of saw that, right, where like Saundo couldn't really do anything after the failed proxy or after the proxy, but it was fine. You know, he could rely on his teammates, could rely on them. They cleaned up. GG, well played. That's going to be our first team game here for the night. We have 2 team game matches. The first 3v3, and now we have a 2v2. Personally, I like 2v2s a lot more. Something that I'm not too fond of in 3v3. I mean, it depends how you approach this. But in 3v3 and 4v4, an individual player is a little bit less impactful. But in 2v2, like, it matters so much more, and there's a little bit more of a intense dynamic between it. I miss it. Seeing these team games makes me want to play team games. Not gonna lie, I miss it, but. Someone has to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. True.